Alright, what's up you guys? Welcome back everybody. This is Janos with Trading Spies, and today we had a very interesting day on the market. We had a gap down, a sell-off on kind of heavy volume, and then basically we bought completely back everything on a light volume, and we were unable to break down a few days ago created pivot high, and when the market closed, the very first candle it just sell off for over a point. So this is what make you think, you know, the market manipulated just a little bit. But either way, we managed to scrape together a green day. We traded 4 times. 3 of them was a winner and 1 of them was a loser, and that trade I mismanaged completely. So as we get in, I'm gonna show it to you guys the breakdown. And if you guys like the videos, please hit the like and subscribe button and turn your notification on. And let's get in and let's get started. So let's start our market recap here. Today we had a gap down from the Friday close, and we were trending down since the sell. After market, Sunday pre-market, we started to regain some momentum, but right before the open we started to sell off, and this level, the 437.33 level, which is a high what we created on this day, right before the FOMC minutes, the day before. And when we get to the FOMC minute, this level, it was very important because really the sell-off it started right there. The next day basically we just run over that line. Since then we never retested, but today it was a very important level for the market. So let's go to the 1 minute, and then basically as we started to sell off, we rebounded, and basically as we pulled back, my first trade, it was as we pull back, we retested the 438 level, and then my actual entry, was 937. Let's just put the little arrow as we usually do, 937. So basically as we retested, we break down the level, I entered, it didn't go right away. The move, the entry is the red candle. And just sorry for the kids having a play day, and if you hear some sudden noises, that's what it is. So but we never retested our actual high of the day. Actually we retested, but we never broke, and that's why I stayed in the trade. If we go higher I would exit, but in this case we never closed above that high candle, so I stay in the trade, and actually the market did what I thought it would, and it broke down, and my exit was on the 41 candles. Basically as we went lower we broke the candle, and on the 41 candle I exited all my position. Then basically we retested the level what we talk about, we bounced up, and this would have been another perfect entry for the short side, which I never participated in it. Let's just put some trend lines over here, right? We were flagging, we can put this over here. basically as we retested again, we could have entered, in my point of view, any of the candles, any of these two candles when we broke the 438 retest. And in that case, probably my exit would have been as we break the trend line, because we never know what would happen if we just have a wick down and we started to go, right? Because we're still within our flag formation. And this is why it's important. And this is not really justificate what I try to say, because we continued with the breakdown, but a lot of times what happening, we just wick down, breaking out of the formation, and then right away we heading to the opposite direction. So basically, again, we started to retest the level, we broke down, we came back up, we retested that level, and this would be the perfect exit entry, which again the kids was playing. So this completely, I missed all these beautiful trade, and we broke all of my level, and this was a few days ago, or low day, which we never retested. So we started to head higher, and my next trade was a counter 10 trade, and the entry was 935, which was this candle. I put it right here because I know this is what it was, and the exit the very next candle. So let's put some explanation. This is a counter 10 trade. Already we can put our little flag, right? Because we created a higher low with two consecutive candles, so we created just a little bit of momentum to the upside. So my thinking, as we come down, we retest that level, I would enter, and exactly that's what happened. I entered right on the very bottom of the wick. As soon as came down, started to move back higher, and I exited as the new candle made a new high. And that particular trade, this one single candle, it was almost a 10% trade, which is very nice for a counter 10 trade. And that's what we have to understand. We go against the trend, so all of our entries have to be justifiable. In this case, the retest of the trend line, and the exit has to be very quick. In this case, again, we ran a little bit further, and as the day unfolded, a lot further, but just by nature, keep that in mind as we do a counter 10 trade, because at this point it's still a counter 10 trade. Gotta be quick to take profit. And then basically what's happening, we started to create higher lows and higher highs, right? So this basically, this one is showing an uptrend already, and right here basically we can think of as a channel, right? And I'm gonna reposition this trend line because we created a higher low, right? Higher low, higher high. And my next trade, 1104. My next trade, the white line is also a low of the day. Let's change it for the 5 minutes, and then we can see this white line. As we can see, this is the low of the day 2 days ago, and that low was never retested. So that's where my trade ideas came from. As we move higher, we retest that level, and then we move to the downside, continue with the downtrend as a rejection came in play. So basically exactly that's what I did. As we retested the level, we moved the first candle, make a new low. I entered into the trade, but basically right away this pivot high is it's became a very strong support level at that point, and the move continue to the higher. And this is what is important, to have composure with the trade and be ready. We made a higher high basically at this point over here right before I entered. The exit, exactly that is the level what we're referencing to. As we broke the level, we never closed above it. We broke the level, but we rejected, so we came down lower. So if we close above this level, that moment is the exit and the finish of the trade, right? And this would have been a losing trade at that point. Just because we didn't close above it, I stayed in the trade and we moved to my favor, and my exit 11-12, 11-11, 11-12. As we broke this candle low, 11-12 candle, basically that's where I exited, and this trade yielded about somewhere close to the 15%, little bit less. Then basically we retested again our level and we moved higher, and this level over here, which were that pivot high, right, what is got rejected, and then basically that pivot high, it became the high of a channel, right? Because we started to trade in a channel. We rejected once, we rejected twice, and then in this case we can move again our trend line because we created a new higher low. So basically we can reposition our trend line, right? So my next entry, so far we have 3 winners, and this is gonna be my last entry, and this is gonna be the loser, and this is the completely mismanaged trade. And let me tell you guys how did that happen. So the entry I entered into this trade 12:01, and this was a little fake out. As we, let me just zoom in a little bit, we broke our trend line, we closed below the trend line, and then I entered the first candle, make a new low after we closed, and then this just became basically a fake out for a moment, because at this time when I entered, this candle was red, right? So as it moved higher, became green. So I entered on the week as we broke down. Right away we moved against our entry. Basically we never broke the overall structure. Theoretically the exit would be the high, right? But in this case, because I think this one is a little bit too far to consider as an exit, I think the level of the retesting again the low, I think that would have been more sufficient for an actual exit. Anyway, we never retested, we never went over it, we never closed above it, but just for reference, that was my thinking for the exit. Once we broke above and closed above this level, that's would have been my exit. We moved lower, we created basically with this wick, consider this low a lower low, and this is where I made the mistake. Usually, and if you guys watching my channel, you guys know how much emphasis I put onto the wicks to breaking structure, because usually exactly this is what's happening, and it did happen. Even if we just look at this, right? We broke the structure right away, we rejected. We broke it just a little bit, we rejected. Exactly the same thing happened. We broke and we rejected, right? So my big mistake, I didn't take profit as we broke, or at least when we moved back in. And if I exited over here, let me just look at it. All right, so I pulled up the option contracts here. Let me just zoom into it. So basically, if I entered here on this candle, actually it was this candle, right? It was this candle as we broke below. So my entry was at 61. Let's just check it if that's correct. Actually my entry was at 60, and the low, it went all the way down to 70. So basically from here, if I exit on the bottom, I would have a 15% profit on this particular trade, right? I didn't do that. It turns against me, and I was thinking, because at this point we're trading in a channel, right? So I made my mistake not to take the profit, and then basically I was waiting to break a structure and close above it. And what happened, exactly that. I wait to break above it, and what happened? I didn't exit. So basically, let's go back to the I let the trade pull back, and this is when the real problem coming, and this is what it shows. We are all human with emotions, right? We have the distraction. In this case, for me, the kids playing and being loud, being kids, right? And we cannot concentrate for 100% to our trade. So basically, when it pulled back, I was really hoping, drinking the opium, to continue with the breakdown, right? And then at least we can manage our trade somehow to come back, break even, or just a little bit loser, because this is when it's retesting our structure, right? As this would have been our exit. As we pull back, this is the retest of really our structure. This was that too, retest of the pivot high. But anyway, as it started to move against me, basically I exited as it broke my next level. I exited over here, and then basically this became from here to here a 50% loser. And luckily I did exit, because that's what happened. And this is really also the mistake what a lot of traders make, new traders make, as the trade move against them, starting to average down here, breaking another structure, pulling back, move against us, averaging down here. And then basically this is becoming a losing battle, because every time you enter into an average down, then basically you're multiplying your losers, right? As many contract you buy, you're just multiplying your losers, because initially you was losing, I'm just saying a number, you were losing on one contract, right? Move against you, you buy another, right? Now you're losing on two. Move against you, you buy a third. Now you losing on three, right? And it's a never-ending story, and a lot of people, they holding until either it goes expire, or you just holding until your pain is great enough to give up the trade, and that's not a good way, not a good way to trade. And then basically this is the other thing what I noticed, right? 3 hours, literally 3 hours, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We went a little bit lower. 7 attempts, we couldn't break this level. When basically we came down, we retested once, right? We came down, we bought back, we retested. Second time we came through, retested, and then we dumped. Over here we came up, right? That's why we know it's important level already from here. Came up, retested, pulled back, and then we just went through. Came back, retested. But these over here, is the market. You cannot say it's ridiculous. But to me, this part is ridiculous. The moment the market closed, basically we just dumped. If this actual breakdown happened during the market, this easily a 50% move wherever you enter. Don't like to enter actual breakdowns, right? But whatever pullback you enter, this particular move, anywhere, if it's during the hours, 50%. So that's why it's important to have time, real time on the market, watching how the structure's moving and how the structure's building up, so we can make the best educated guess how we're gonna trade, right? Manage the green trade, but this one over here, it's a very upsetting trade, and again, that's why all of us are human, all of us has emotions, and that's why it's very, very important. If you feel your mind is not completely on the trading, then just don't do it. If you have to do something else and you day trading, just close your position, right? Anytime you can re-enter when you see something. Don't just leave your trade open and then hope for the best, because most of the time, unfortunately, it's not working out. But anyway, we managed a green day, not by a lot, because unfortunately this move took most of the profit. I give back a little bit more than half of the profit what I built it up in the previous trades. But anyway, take your time on the market, no rush to do anything. Make sure you wait for your entries and calculate your exits. Put your stop losses and calculate your exit. And again, if you guys like these videos, like the education what I try to pass down, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, turn your notification on, and see you guys tomorrow with a new episode.